guys, Dennis back with a brand new video. So does your John Deere tractor have trouble steering? Does it do this when you go to turn to the left? Alright, so if you can see down here, this is the steering plate right here, and here is the pinion gear that connects to the shaft of the steering wheel. You can see how worn this thing is. Alright, so our first step to changing these parts out is to lower the mower deck all the way. So I'm going to set this all the way down to the lowest setting, and we need to remove the mower deck. Super simple. You have on the left and right side, you have these little pins here that hold the deck in. Just be careful, don't smash your knuckles pulling these out. So what I typically do when I take the deck off is I just put the parts right here where your feet go on the mower so they don't get lost. Now there's also one in the front here. There is this black bar here. This needs to be removed. And there's a washer on this too. And I must mention, you know, if you're pulling the deck out, it's probably a really good time to check your blades and sharpen them. So be on the lookout for a blade sharpening video from me. Most likely gonna make one here soon. And we'll get the other side. Alright, now to lower your deck down, all you do is you take this piece right here, kind of pull it out of the way. This piece comes out, and this just fits inside of the hole here. It has like an oval shape to it. You can actually see it's worn out a little bit, but not falling apart yet. And then the black metal guide support up here, you just pull that off and let that fall down. Same thing on the other side. Gotta pull this off here. I'm actually gonna set the camera down here so I can use two hands. Alright, I'll take the black one off first, and then this guy here. And my driveway's a little uneven where we're doing this, so if I just take my hand and put it under the mower deck and lift up a little bit, I can get this out of the way and then pull this piece out. All right, and then the only thing left holding the deck in is the belt and this front pivot piece here. So this, I'm just gonna push through with my thumb, like that. That moves out of the way. And then you can actually grab the deck and slide it forward at this point and get some slack in your belt, and then the belt just falls right off that pulley. Now you don't need to mess around, obviously, unless you're changing the belts. You don't need to mess around with any of the routing on the pulleys on the deck itself. And then all you do is you just pull your deck out from under the mower, move it to the side. Be a good time to clean it off here. Looks like I obviously did not blow this off the last time I mowed. So now that we can get under here and the mower deck's not in place, you can see exactly what's going on in here. So the teeth are definitely worn on the steering plate itself here. It's pretty thick, but it's this gear here that has the real issue. All right, so the pinion gear, to get that off, it is a 19 millimeter. And all you got to do, if you can reach up or have someone help you, is just hold the steering wheel. And once you hold the steering wheel, you can loosen this up. And take your nut off of this. All right, now, after taking that nut off, all you need to do is grab a flathead screwdriver and kind of wedge it up on top of this, and it will come off pretty easily. just like that. So now a little close up here, you can see how badly this is worn, and that's why it was skipping. All right, now to remove both of these bolts, there are nuts on the top side of the frame here, so I'm gonna use a 15 mil wrench, and it's a little tricky to get your hands up in here, but once you get that on, just make sure you hold that in place because it will fall off really easily. All right, we're good now. All right, now this washer on here actually has a shoulder on it that this plate rides in, so you gotta make sure that goes in back in the correct direction, and we will grab the nut for this, and I'll just put this together and to the side for now so we don't lose any pieces. And then the next step is to remove this one. Now the nut on this one is actually not 15 mil because this wrench does not grab it. All right, so this is definitely a 13 mil nut on the top of this. I'm not sure why it's a different size. All right, so we have our steering plate removed. The underside of the chassis, like where the plate rides, actually looks like it's in really good condition. I'm probably gonna put like a little bearing grease up in here. We'll clean off the shaft before we put the new pinion on. This kit did come with new bushings for the steering, but they actually seem pretty good. So I may not change them out at this point. I will save them for the future, but look at this a little more closely now. Look at the teeth on this thing. They are absolutely shredded on this side. All right, so we're gonna take our steering linkage off here. Now this doesn't look quite like 19 mil. It's not, it's probably about 17. Let's see. All right, 17 mil, and it looks like we're going to need a combo wrench for here also to break this free. I guess you could use an adjustable. I actually have an adjustable here. So we'll try to take off one with an adjustable. I'll also grab a combo wrench, and I'll let you know what size that is, just in case you don't have an adjustable on hand. But these are all nylock nuts on here, so they come off fairly easy. I think the only one was the only exception was the pinion nut. This was one of those kind of crimped nuts where it doesn't have the nylon locking sleeve in it. The nut itself is like not perfectly circular inside. It's off just a little bit, just enough where it grabs it. All right, so that came off really easy. And you can see once I take this off, these are nylock here, so you can see that white. Sometimes it's different colors, like blue or whatever, but there's a white nylon sleeve in here. And then all you do is just drop your steering linkage out of the way. And then we just have this side to get, and then we can change out the plate. All right, so it ended up being 13 millimeter, which is good, less tools. So one nice trick here so you don't smash your knuckles. If you put your wrench on here and have these offset like this, you can grab it with your hand and just squeeze it. And that'll normally break that fastener loose. So you can see the right side of this is totally destroyed. Now I'm gonna grab the new one and we're gonna compare them before we install them, just to make sure we don't have any issues. So Made in China. Hopefully this thing lasts. The brand was called Labwork. And this is what they give you. They give you that new shoulder washer. They give you 2 guide bushings for the steering shaft. They give you the pinion gear, and they give you a new bolt for the backside where that all pivots. So I'm gonna take a look at the plate here. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna lay it right on top, and matches up perfect. All right, so I decided I'm actually gonna change those steering bushings. You might as well have everything nice and fresh. So the steering wheel actually just lifts straight out once all of that's disconnected, and you can just lift it up and leave it inside of here. To get this bushing out, all you need to do is put your screwdriver on here and just give it a little pry, and then it comes right out. The new one, all you do is you just take it, and then it pops in place there like that. Now that one's through. And it's kind of hard to see, but it's behind the battery. I'm gonna stick my finger down in here, and actually was able to pull my finger. I was able to pull it out with just sticking on my finger here. So we're gonna grab the other one here. And we're gonna install that. I'm just gonna put this on my finger again and just kind of try to feel where it needs to be in there. I'm just gonna use a screwdriver to try to guide it in place here. Just like that. All right, so we're in, and I'm just gonna press it from the top side to get it to snap. And then all I did was I took the steering wheel shaft and I guided it back down, and there's on the steering wheel shaft there is a little flat piece like welded on there, and I used that after I guided this down into the bushing as like a ram. Now your steering wheel, we will make sure that this is adjusted properly when we put the pinion gear on before we put the plate on. We're gonna clean off the shaft to the steering wheel. And I'm gonna put some never sees on here. I mean, you could probably use like a little bearing grease or whatnot. Now we're gonna put the original nut back on. It did not come with a new nut for this. It just came with the pinion gear, and that was 19 millimeters. All right, so once I got this mounted, I noticed there's quite a bit of play right here, and I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be like that. So I was looking at the original plate and the spacer that came with here, and this spacer barely sticks through. The new spacer sticks way through. So I'm gonna change this real quick. I'm actually gonna put the old one back in. All right, there we go. Let's tighten this up. I'm gonna turn the wheels on this so you can see this in action. All right, and that's it. That's all there's to it. All right, so we're gonna give this a quick test ride. Seems to operate pretty well. No more skipping. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video. So please consider hitting that like button and maybe hitting that subscribe button if you will. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Hope it saves you some time and some money. Super easy fix. Just need some basic hand tools, a little bit of time, definitely a lot of patience. The trickiest part was getting the nuts started up in the chassis for that steering plate, because it was really tight. But thanks for watching. Till next time.